r/ask Reddit. What was your biggest duck it I'm doing this moment? Skydiving. The plane they take you up in is such a piece of shit. I actually felt safer jumping out of it than landing in it. The way the door shudders as you get to jump altitude didn't help. I wanted out. That's the trick to motivate you to jump. Otherwise people would want to stay in the plane and just go back to the ground. Followed a girl to another country, now married 15 plus years. Followed my now husband to Canada 10 years ago after less than a year together. Zero regrets. From the outside it sounded ducking dumb, but we knew it was an all or nothing moment and we both wanted all. Deciding to go on a solo backpacking trip when I was 18 years old. I'm a worrier and not very good at handling stressful situations, and at the time I was also super introverted. That trip really helped me realize that I'm capable of a lot more than I think. I'd like to know more. I'm interested in doing something like this but I'm scared. Deploying changes to production on a Friday. By God, either that's the cleanest code ever written, or you've got a crystal ball. Hitting send on an email I wrote my husband's mistress. Best night of sleep I've ever had was when I texted the guy my lying ex-GF was with and told him everything. I actually think about it occasionally to fall asleep faster. Asking my now wife if I could call her back the next night after she called looking for a roommate who had moved out. We had talked for a couple of hours that night. She said yes. I called her back the next night. We've been together now 17 years and got married 2 months ago. How old are you guys? Pretty old. I remember when Kennedy got assassinated. Both of them. I had a choice to eat all the peanut butter cups all at once. I said duck it. I ate all the peanut butter cups. Proposed to my wife. Was showering and started thinking about how much I love her. Decided. Duck it. I'm marrying this. Got dressed AMD drove directly to her place to propose. No ring. No fancy speech or atmosphere planned. Thank God she said yes and 6 years later we are happily married with 2 kids. Called my wife and told her I had a drinking problem. Hard methodic phone call to make. I tell you what, of course she already knew. Most did. But getting it out there verbally was hard. Real hard. I'd also like to thank Topo Chico Bubbly Water for satisfying my need to drink cold bubbly drinks and need to be holding a beverage urges. Sober and hydrated. 1.5 years. It's so hard to admit you've got a problem. So proud of you. Told a woman how I felt about her while 100% confident she didn't feel the same way. Now married 2.5 years with a beautiful baby girl. Follow your dreams, gentlemen. You never know apparently. This gives me hope. Was going through some domestic violence BS and wasn't allowed to leave the home for months at a time. They tried to choke me to death. Yelled at me a lot, etc. I can't remember all of it. My grandmother had died and I'm pretty sure it was the intent to kill me and get my part of the inheritance. The inheritance money finally came in after about 6 months of this treatment, and while the other person took his half and went on vacation, I took my half and bought a Greyhound ticket and got out of there. Best decision I ever made. I'm happy to hear you got out of it. So many people get stuck in terrible relationships and are afraid to leave. Ate a burger at 10 AM this morning. I first read that as ate a burglar at 10 AM this morning. That would have been badass. Entering a mosh pit for the first time. It's an incredible experience. The shared energy in the pit is insane. Sitting in a terrible apartment, listening to the upstairs neighbor play fetch with his dog in the house. After waking me up at 4:30 AM. I'd been searching for a new apartment, but all I could see was my next bad rental, and so I ended up browsing Zillow, and stumbled upon a townhouse in one of my favorite neighborhoods, in my price range, with all the features I wanted. Stared at it for a week, then said duck it, I was going to end up buying a house in a few years, might as well just do it now. Things got kind of chaotic for a few months getting funds sorted and inspections and packing and moving. But I moved in over a year ago and absolutely love the house. Bought a sailboat. Quit a decent paying job that I hated. Sailed from New York to the Caribbean where I hung out for a year, then sold the boat back in Florida and then spent the next 5 months hiking the Appalachian Trail. Went back to work for a year and now I'm currently backpacking through Southeast Asia for the next 6 months. Picking up violin. I've been playing for almost 10 years and it got me a full ride to UCF. I just picked it up a couple months ago after wanting to for years. Bonus points. I'm not far from UCF. Congrats on the scholarship. Drunk texting a girl that used to stalk me because I was thirsty. Instant regret the next day. Oof, drunk texting is a beach. Almost destroyed a relationship between a good friend and his now ex. Not my fault, girlfriend. My friend was being picked on by the bully last week, and I went in. He's fine. I have the black eye. Proud of ya. When I asked out my girlfriend, audibly said duck it. Oh, that's awesome. I hope the relationship is going well. A few years ago, I was asked by a rather open-minded friend if I could assist her in planning her dream birthday party. I should specify at this juncture that her dream birthday party was, essentially, an orgy. Being the kind, organized friend that I am, I told her that I'd be happy to help her out, and I so spent the better part of 2 weeks organizing and planning an orgy, which, if you've never planned an orgy, can get complicated in less than traditional ways. The big day arrived and there I was, clipboard in hand and a fishbowl of condoms in my lap, and the party started. I was raised very conservatively and my comfort level with sex was, at the time, less than stellar, and I was terrified, not only of what I was about to witness but also because I didn't want to let my friend down. What if I'd planned a shitty orgy? That's a kind of shame you can't walk away from. It is also important to note that my friend was very specific about her entrance, and at the stroke of 8:30 p.m, she gloriously descended the stairs in a feathered Hollywood movie star robe and then dropped it, revealing her full back Tyrannosaurus Rex tattoo. And I had my very definitive of, well, my friend is naked on the stairs. There are 15 dudes and ladies waiting to bang her and this might be one of the weirdest nights of my entire life. But duck it, here I am. And I'm doing it moment. At some point, I looked around over a sea of pasty white middle-aged weirdos and realized that maybe being a well-rounded adult is deciding that you want to have an orgy for your birthday, and there's nothing really wrong with that as long as everyone consents. It was, weirdly, one of the most wholesome and affirming nights of my entire life. A few days ago I had the opportunity to get LASIK. I just had to call out of work. This upset my boss, but duck it, 4 days later and I'm already 20/20. Eating escargot. Snails are really squishy, but with some good sauce they're pretty tasty. Joining my high school football team. Ducking hate football, I just did it out of spite. Yep, I feel you. I joined my high school football team, not out of spite, but because I actually wanted to play. But I had never played before and our team was tiny, so we didn't really do too well. I had fun though, made a lot friends, and got in pretty good shape, so it was worth it. LOL. Had been playing guitar for like 6 months before leaving for college. I would walk by a music store every day. After half a semester of walking by the store, without thinking about it or planning for it, I actually went in and walked out with a Gibson SG. I've been playing ever since. Skipping days during a work conference to go to Disney World and Universal. No way in hell was I getting a free pass to Florida and not going to the wizarding world of Harry Potter. It was worth every second. Smoking crystal meth for the first time. I didn't actively seek it out, I was in the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people. It was incredibly euphoric, too euphoric. I started doing it more and that led me to a 10-year spiral into a debilitating drug addiction. Clean for 3 now though, so there's that. My roommate from college worked with this beautiful woman. I mean, way out of my league. She was dating this good-looking douchebag who cared more about his hair than her. I went by the store where they worked on Valentine's Day and she was upset because the douchebag didn't even call her on, in her words, the most romantic day of the year. So I said duck it and went down to the florist and bought her a bouquet of a dozen red roses and told her that she deserved better than what she had. 2 weeks ago we celebrated 28 years of marriage. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.